Hey, it's Chris. Top 10 games coming to retail between now and the end of the year for me. So, last quarter of the year, quarter 4, what am I excited about between now and the end of 2022 that you can get your hands on? I'm going to do a separate one for crowdfunding games that are going to be launching, as well as crowdfunding games that are going to be arriving. But this one, we're going to be talking about the ones that I want to get my hands on from a retail side of things. And if you know anything about me and the channel, I don't talk about a lot of retail games. I don't pick up a lot of things at retail. So that right in there is a really special category from that aspect of things. Excited? Tweaked? Want to learn a little bit more about stuff you may not have known about in the first place? Let's do this. Look, these first two aren't going to be a surprise if you watch my channel to any degree. Now, there might be a slight degree difference, though, than a lot of other people out there, and so that's why I like talking about this stuff. Pandasaurus. I've already talked about the Revenge of Fozilla and the Loop expansion here. You can order it, you can play it, you can get it. But if you didn't have enough, because I don't have enough as my number one cooperative game, there is another small box expansion, the Brigade à Folie. I'm mispronouncing that French. The Fur Brigade is essentially what it is. And you're adding these two new characters, a cat magician, something along those lines, and an Arsène Lupus, a werewolf, that are going to add new dynamics, new charcoal teleporters and void falls, whatever those are, more artifacts, and just two characters that are going to bend the rules, including the cat magician, who actually, I believe it's the cat magician of the two of them, allows you to hold 4 cards in your hand instead of the traditional 3. This is the highest game on my wish list right now from a retail side of things, period. I've reached out to Pandasaurus when they sent out the reviewer email, and I was like, hey, I really love the loop. Either way, if they don't send me a review copy, I'm going to buy it. Full disclaimer right there. That's how strong I am on this. That's why it's number 1. Now, speaking of number 2, there won't be any review copies, but you can already try and get it over at Target, even though it's not technically out. And what's that? Horizons of Spirit Island, the intro cooperative game of Spirit Island. I talked to my wife earlier tonight. I was like, yeah, I'm really waiting for this game to get released. And she's like, oh, what game is it? I'm like, it's the one you hate. And she's like, oh, that one. She knew which one it was, right? And that's, my wife isn't good remembering about like some of the games we play. It's just her way her mind works, right? Like she needs to see it. She's a visual, not an auditory. And so but with this one, she was like, oh, I remember that. That's not a good sign, right? So I just want more spirits. I want more complexity. I want to be able to introduce this to my kids at an early age. And this is where I'm going with this. I'm going to do it with my 8-year-old. He beat me in Blue Lagoon the other day. So that's why this is number 2 from Greater Than Games. Whenever it comes at a $30 price point, I'm going to be getting it. There's no doubt about it from that aspect of things. They had just announced the global release of it as well over on the website. And as much as people poo-poo this, I really like the artwork. I think it fits very well from a thematic side of things. So I just want to see more of this. I haven't even played through all the stuff I have, but these are 2 games that, I really can't get enough of. And that's why they're the highest ones on this wish list, period, right now. Now, the third one on this list, again, it's not going to be a far departure if you've ever heard me talk about this. This one's been on my radar for quite some time. This is King of Monster Island. I love King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo was one of my gateway games, and I use that as a sentence meaning I used this game as one of the first games to get into the hobby, and I just love it. And I just love the idea of it. I think my kids are old enough that we could start playing it. I have the original version, like the old school version with like the bunny and stuff. As well as the power-up expansion, and then I upgraded into Dark. I was never a fan of New York, but this from Yellow as a 1 to 5 player co-op now, where you're going against this big dude, freaking sweet. And if you're not aware, they just released the rulebook, so you can check out the rulebook over on Board Game Geek here, and you can see how the volcano and the area is going to be a little bit more selective. They've changed the dice. There's going to be different sides on the dice that you're going to be having to deal with. There's different bosses that you're going to be dealing with, and you're going to be summoning allies to your side. That's really cool. I really love the idea of this. I've looked over the rule book. It's going to be a winner. I'm going to love it. Ultimate challenge right there. Everything you need is right there. It's not going to be significantly a big departure except from the cooperative sense, with a slight more nuance and tactical nature in that aspect of cooperative versus competitive. So if you didn't like the first time around, you may not like this, but it is cooperative, so at least there's no player elimination. but that's why it's next on this list as number 3. Number 4 and number 5 are going to surprise you. Number 4 and number 5 are actually from the same company, and this is going to be probably a little bit of a shock to most people on this list, but I'm looking at it as an opportunity to expand my horizons or to see that I can really cross some things off depending on how it goes. And number 4 is Terra Nova from Capstone Games, right? I always have this ideal, like, I think I'd like it. No, like, I've seen people discuss Terra Mystica and be like super strategic, cutthroat. I want something a little bit lighter that plays in less than 2.5 to 3 hours, especially with new people. And so that's why I'm looking at Terra Nova right now. 10 factions still in the base game, and asymmetric abilities a little bit easier. I'm all in on this. This is the type of thing. And there was a whole debate on the Board Game Geek forums, like, do we really need this type of game? Like, people like looking down on it like a Terra Mystica Light, right? Holy gatekeeping, Batman. Anyway, the only thing I just don't know is, again, I don't know what I don't know. And the problem with this, unlike King of Monster Island that I just showed you, there is no rulebook yet. A rulebook, click here, was supposed to be available in July. It's now September, no rulebook. So hopefully Capstone Games will have something coming out close from that side of things soon-ish, because they're estimated delivery to warehouse here, if I scroll up so I'm not covering it, is the end of September. So you should be able to get it by like October, and this is starting to cut it close if we don't have a rule book by then. Because not that that's going to stop a lot of people, but it's going to stop people like me potentially. So next one, though, is this one just creeped on the hotness, and I actually discovered it before it was on the hotness over on the website from Capstone as well. And this one is Rise. Again, 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes. Development of a city with a tableau, sort of like Tapestry and less random, and I'm assuming, per the issues I heard with Tapestry, a little more balanced in that way. Interestingly enough, not from Capstone, but if you go to DLP Games here, they actually have the rule book in English as well as German, and it gives you a good sense of what you're going to be doing. The gist of it is you have these 10 tracks that you're going to be maneuvering up slowly and surely, and they're going to give you bonuses along the way on tracks that are going to cause you to have to evaluate your strategy. And it's going to be card driven in terms of the play in order to manage those tracks in the first place. Immediately people are going, 10 tracks, they're going to be the same. There's an A and B side, so you can already stop worrying about it from that aspect. You can do A, you can do B, you can do a mix of A and B, depending on how you want. And you do it over 12 rounds of mitigating this. Starting schools, starting strategic tracks, a little bit of everything that you see here in terms of the tracks themselves and how you're going to be dealing with them, the effects that go along with it, and the fact that this says this is a 60-minute game with a tableau engine building sort of action event card play. I love the idea of this. I think this looks great. You can check out the rulebook right here on DLP's website. No ambiguity of whether or not it's going to be for you. Plenty of turn examples. And that's kind of why I'm hyped about it, right? Yeah. Sound good? Yeah. Surprised? Yeah. There you go. Top 5. What's on the back 5? Now, if you thought the first 5 were eclectic, this second 5 is going to be even better. Cooperative Carcassonne. I love the idea. Mist over Carcassonne. Spooky tale. Special features. Independent cooperative mode. I love it. I really kind of want to see what they can do in this special, different version, set completely apart from all of the other versions out there. No real details. Maybe we'll see it when Essen, but I would imagine the general release, I believe, is supposed to be before the end of the year. So that's not a lot of time, but we'll kind of see where it goes. The official release is supposed to be around Spiel per the Hans Glock website. But we'll see kind of as Essen sort of creeps up on us here. That's why it's number 6. Number 7, I've talked about this one previously. I'm going to talk it about again. Czech Games, Starship Captains, 2 to 4 players, upgrading a manageable crew of cadets, ensigns, androids, officers, special roles, asymmetric abilities, medals, promotions, upgrading your ships, boosting your reputation across the galaxy, factions for rewards, space base only, more, and not just rolling dice. This one is also an Essen release, and I'm really excited to kind of see what they can do with this. Not a lot of details so far, though, in the actual gameplay. I would imagine this is going to be on a lot of people's Essen list to get, or to check out very heavily from Czech games, you know, in the next month or so. So it kind of checks a lot of stars for me, right? I couldn't resist. Bad dad pun. But that's also why it's on the list here. Consequently, I have a lot of Marvel champions. FFG, just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. Champions, X-Men, we've been waiting for it. We have been waiting for it. They finally have gotten off the stupid Avengers. I mean, I like Avengers, but X-Men has always been my boy. Since I was growing up, I had the X-Men cards. I had the mutant cards. I had all of the Marvel. I had all of those cards, right? They had the like the stats on the backside and the relative strengths, and like if they were like a 9, it would tell you like what the equivalent of that is, and then like if they were a 2, it would tell, all that stuff, right? Like some of those are still in my parents' basement, and now we're getting the Phoenix pack, we're getting the Wolverine pack, but we're getting the cool stuff here. This is the amazing stuff. We're gonna see a lot of cool. We're gonna see a lot of freaking fantastic hyperspace Kraken stuff in the future with this. Because I think you're going to see heroes. I think you're going to see anti-heroes. I think you have so many arcs of stories that can be told with the X-Men that could be just freaking amazing. I'm looking for like the X-Force, like the newer bad mothers X-Force. Like give me a full thing of that, right? Oh man, I just can't wait to see what else they put out. I don't even know how or why you would do Phoenix as a character. Like the Phoenix is like above Omega level mutant, and you get to play as her, like totally OP, like Phoenix, flip this card over, you win, right? Like that's what I'm expecting. But anyway, I'm being a little facetious, but it just looks cool. Now I'd like a deck of like either like Polaris or like Kitty Pryde. I think Kitty Pryde up here, she's up here somewhere right there. Give Kitty Pryde her own deck. That's like the phasing mechanics. Just some of those characters just lend themselves for amazing. Here's Kitty Pryde down here. Amazing ways of doing something completely different that you haven't seen before already. So I think X-Men is the perfect departure for them to go all balls out, walls out in that sense. So second to last year, again, is another departure. Z-Man recently announced challengers. You may look at this and you may go, that sounds weird, Chris. What are you talking about this? It's Capture the Flag as a board game. 1 to 8 players in 45 minutes time frame with 75 different asymmetric cards of people that you're going to be using to make up a team with 40 different types of effects in a 7-round tournament. Man, I don't know. That just sounds like crazy fun at a little bit higher player count that can be appealing to anyone. And it gives me King of Monster Island, King of Tokyo vibes, all at the same time of just very straightforward. So I'm really intrigued to see what this is and what this entails. I mean, this isn't going to be the most strategic game. It's not going to be the most nuanced from that. But you know what? I like having games like that in my collection. Games like that work when you're just not feeling it, when you're not feeling like playing something heavy or relearning something, or, you want to play something quicker without the overhead. This right here, checking that box, boom, Z-Man. There you go. Last but not least, this is the push your luck sort of one. This is the controversial one. This is the only one that's coming from a non-retail distribution originally, Wayfarers of the South Tigris. Again, it's supposed to be by the end of the year, so if I can pick up a copy from the retail or from the trading side of things, as all of their games have come to retail and all I'm going to be missing out is a promo pack, this is the one that I'm looking at. Again, sort of like from the capstone side of things, something that's going to push my boundaries of, am I liking this style with the dice worker placement in the first of the trilogy of the South Tigris series? It did great. I think it looks great. People are going to like it. It's just whether or not it's for me. And I don't know if the combination of dice worker placement and tableau will be good for me or not. I've gotten a taste of a few worker dice placement games in the past year, Encyclopedia, and then I'm completely blanking on the other one that was like the Frankenstein's monster one. I'm forgetting that one that I did a preview on as well. But this is sort of an upgraded version of that. So I'm really piqued to see if this is going to be something that I've always kind of wanted to like, but never has quite fit. But this looks like the closest one yet. So that's why I'm willing to give it a shot, and that's why I'm going to try and pick it up, hopefully before the end of the year. So there you go. That's 10 in short order. Boom. There you go. Quick and easy. 10 games, retail-ish, except for that little asterisk in the last one. What are you excited about? What are you going to pick up? Because, I don't get a lot from retail. I really try and trade, but there are a few on that list, especially in those first 5, and even the last 5, but especially the first 5 that I am seriously itching like on the pre-order button or itching on the when this comes available. Click, 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 click. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when I talk about that, right? So I really try not to do that because I hate waiting. I don't do the big like pre-order, get over the shipping price, because then there's always some games that you want that are on pre-order and always some games that you want that are available, and then you're waiting for the pre-orders and the pre-orders get delayed, and so it just ends up no. And so I just wait for a while, and blessing curse, then I also get some more information that either I'm missing out or I'm thankfully missing out, right? So there you go. That's all I got. So take it for what it is. Let me know what you're excited about in the upcoming Q4 in this one. And in the near future, I'll have the other 2 videos that I mentioned at the beginning, the crowdfunding ones to be received by the end of the year, and the crowdfunding ones that are still yet to launch. That's all I got. Stay classy. See you around. If you like it, you know what to do. It's YouTube.